Hey guys, John here. It seems like the more I talk to people about their experiences at hospitals and with doctors, the angrier I get. I've lost all faith in doctors, really, and in our medical system as a whole. I think it's become apparent to everyone that it's a corrupt system, that it is captive to big money, and that it's so compartmentalized that doctors really aren't effective. This reductionist idea of medicine has really painted us into a corner where we think that, okay, well, one symptom, one diagnosis, one treatment, one virus, one pill, and that just simply isn't the way that the world works. That's not the way that our body works. That's not the way that God created us. We are entire systems. And when you have a medical profession where each and one of those doctors is not only captive to the loans and things that they have, uh, but also to the insurance companies that pay their bills, and at the same time, their entire education is centered around this reductionist ideology, they simply don't have the holistic skill set to look at multiple systems and make a determination as to the avenue to take forward. And it's really, really destructive for our health. You get farmed out to all of these different specialists, and none of them see the big picture. Your medical data is kept in a container and it's not shared with the other doctors efficiently, and so they're all looking at a tree, and none of them are seeing a forest. And our bodies are just a garden, and a garden that we have to treat differently. And unfortunately, our medical system has been using the same kind of practices that the agricultural system has, and that, okay, if you've got weeds, well, let's just napalm bomb it with chemicals to kill the weeds and everything else living in the soil, and then plant our genetically modified crops that are resistant to it. And that supposedly solves the problem. But, what they're not looking at is all of the unintended consequences of this. And we're only just now starting to come to an understanding of these unintended consequences as they're manifesting, and the cat's getting out of the bag. But even if the cat is out of the bag and we all see it, the people in power in these corporations are still going to deny that cats exist. And they're going to continue doing that until we, the people, force them to. We can only do that through our decisions as consumers. Really, we can do it with political will, but politics has lost all of its luster in my mind and in the minds of many. That too is a corrupt and captive system. And so what I believe is that God, when He created us, He created the most magnificent technology in the universe. And that's what we are, exactly, as a technology. And everything that we're doing to try and fix ourselves that man creates is an inferior technology. And so it's like we're trying to use a DOS computer in the quantum age, and it just doesn't work. You're completely limited. You're not getting the full picture that God wants us to see. And so I think it's time that we, collectively as a society, begin to move more towards God's ways, and start to move away from mankind's designs, escape the system in a sense, in that we begin to just live a much more healthy lifestyle, and we begin to eat better, treat our soils better, and understand that God created a system, and that system is whole, and it is extraordinarily complex, something that mankind is thousands of years away from even beginning to really truly understand. And if we want to return to a state of health and return to a spiritually fit state as individuals and collectively, we have to do things differently. And we're going to have to do that on our own. It's not something that governments can do or will do, because it's not in their best interests. Now that we're in this quantum age where supercomputers are getting better and better and more available to various institutions and governments, they are going to continue trying to extract more information from us, because the key to using one of those complex computers is to understand how to ask the right questions. And to understand how to ask the right questions, you have to have a sufficient amount of data, which is never enough. And so they're going to be trying to extract more and more data from us, more and more about our lives. They're going to be conducting more and more experiments on the human body to try and figure out how it was made, because they would like to make it themselves. And so, obvious solution to me is that we have to kind of escape and build a new society, one that is in this world but not of this world, one where we focus on our family, we focus on good food, healthy living, and on God, and drawing nearer to God, and making the most out of our limited time on this planet in this lifetime, so that when we do return, and we will return, as has been known by the truly spiritual for a long time, um, we return in a much better state than we are now. So this life that we live currently is just an illusion, and there is a higher order of things, and those things can be known, and the knowledge of those things is now being made available for the first time in human history to non-Hebrew speakers, and it's exciting. It's an exciting time to be alive, but it also means that there's a whole lot of work that we have to do in order to capitalize on this new understanding that we're coming to. And we're reaching a paradigm shift in human consciousness, and there are people that are trying to keep us in bondage to these old ways of thinking and these old ideas that are just incorrect. They're just wrong. And so we, want to build a world where truth reigns supreme, and God is truth, and that's all that matters. And so that's what we would like to build out there. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a great week. It's starting to get cold. I'm enjoying it for now. I feel it's going to be a pretty tough winter for just about everyone around the world, and so I pray that you guys are preparing, you and your families, to spend a cold winter with those that you love, in safety, and under the umbrella of God's grace. So y'all take care.